Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video of my sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over day 4 for the PGA Tour event for Sunday, May 2nd, 2021. I'm going to show you the about top 9, top 10 uh, golfers who are ranked right now. And I'm going to show you their numbers, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I'm picking, you'll have to join my Patreon with my picks always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your pick, and let's go into the Valspar Championship. So we're going to basically be looking at the top 9, which is really, I think, about 11 guys. And we're going to see if there's anything here for a potential winner. If somebody wins who is ranked down here, -7, 6, 5, if somebody comes back and wins it, then nothing I can do about it. I definitely didn't see it coming because I didn't pull the numbers for them. But let's get into it though. I have my daily numbers, date numerology for the event, Gregorian Hebrew calendar, and then I also have what I call my event numbers, PGA Tour, Valspar Championship, Gematria, the course, the resort, the location. This is the 7th annual Valspar event. It's the 20th overall event for this particular tournament, but it's the 7th for Valspar. Winner gets 6.9 mil. Defending champion Paul Casey. He's won the last 2 events. So he's won 2 in a row. 2 in a row for the Valspar. And then on this side is what I have where my players are at. So Keegan Bradley here up top, sharing the number 1 spot with Sam Burns. Max Homa in 3, and then so on and so forth. And we go all the way down to 9, Shore Merritt. Then I have a couple other ones built out, but I didn't pull the birthdays just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at these and try and determine if there's anything interesting here. I have 3 different things to play with here. I got the daily numbers, I have the event numbers, and then I have the players. So I'm going to be switching back and forth. Hopefully you can keep up, doesn't confuse you. But I'm going to bring this over here to this side for right now because I want to show that it is the 50th day of the Hebrew religious. And that's why I have a lot of purple on here for the event numbers, because I see some consistency here. First, the defending champion, he's won this event twice, Paul Casey. His name sums to 103, and it sums to 50 and 140 and 31. But interesting that it sums to 103 because this event has taken place at the Ennis Brook Resort, which sums to 103, which is in Palm Harbor, which sums to 50. And Paul Casey sums to 103 and 50. But the reason why I have those purple is because today is also the 50th day on the Hebrew religious with 103 date numerology. And it also has 43 date numerology, 25 date numerology, and 160. 25 is interesting because it's the 7th annual Valspar event. The number 7 sums to 25. 43rd, 43 date numerology, 43 sums to 140. Defending champ Paul Casey, 140. But 43 is the 14th prime number, and 14 sums to 104. So we have Palm Harbor, 104.50, Valspar Championship, 104, Ennis Brook Resort, 103. It's the 7th annual, 7 sums to 25. So there's just a fair amount of connections with the Hebrew religious as far as event numbers. And if we consider Paul Casey as the last winner, his numbers connect to the Hebrew, but it also, certain numbers connect to, the 103 connects to the resort, the 50 connects to the city, Palm Harbor, and then you can even do the 140 because 43 sums to 140, and 43 is the 14th prime number. 14 sums to 104, and then that's where you get the championship 104, Paul Harbor 104.50. So it makes sense why Paul Casey would win it twice, or at the very least once. So I'm going to put this right here, and it's going to go over the daily numbers. And so let's look at our players. Keegan Bradley, first up. Keegan Bradley has a very interesting number pattern going on for him. He opened up this championship by shooting the lowest so far than anybody else has shot, which is a -7. He opened up shooting a 64. Nobody else so far in either round 1, 2, or 3 has shot a 64. And when you shoot a 64, that means you're at a -7. You open up as a -7. And the reason why I bring that up, because this is the 7th annual Valspar event. And Keegan Bradley opens up shooting a 7, a -7, and he's the only one to do so in the last 3 rounds, which is interesting. The number 7 sums to 70, and Keegan Bradley sums to 70. This is the 7th annual Valspar event. He opens up shooting a 7. The number 7 sums to 70. His name sums to 70. The number 7 is the 4th prime number, and he comes into this event with 4 PGA Tour wins. It makes me think he might just stay on 4 PGA Tour wins, but he could get his 5th PGA Tour win. And the reason why I have that highlighted in purple is because 25 date numerology on the Hebrew religious. The word 25 sums to 50, 50th day of the Hebrew religious. But the number 7 also sums to 25. And if we pop 25 into number properties, we see that 25 has a square root of 5. And so Keegan Bradley, let's get the numbers back up. Keegan Bradley can get his 5th PGA tournament win, opening up, shooting a -7. His name sums to 70, this being the 7th annual Valspar. 7 sums to 70 and 25. 25 has a square root of 5. It's the 330th day of his current 34-year-old age. And 34 sums to 110 and 56, just like his name, Keegan Bradley, 110, 56. 34 also sums to 160, and today has 160 date numerology on the Hebrew religious. But it's the 330th day of his 34-year-old age. So let's pop in 330. 330 sums to 104. And this is the Valspar Championship, which sums to 104. In Palm Harbor, 104. And he's actually tied for -14 with Sam Burns, -14. And the number 14 sums to 104. So it makes me think Keegan Bradley can very well close this out with a win and get his 5th tournament win. He's probably my first pick if I were to choose. Sam Burns, he has some pretty good numbers. Sam Burns, 107, 26, 55. He's tied at 14 with Bradley, Keegan Bradley. And this is the 7th annual event. 7 sums to 20. But this is the 20th event overall. It's gone under different names. But 7 sums to 20, and it's the 20th event overall. The number 20 sums to 107, 26, 55. Just like Sam Burns, 107, 26, 55. 109 date numerology on the Hebrew civil. Sam Burns also sums to 109. It's 183, or a total span of 184 since his 24th birthday. The thing I see here would be the 283, which is the 61st prime number. 48 date numerology on the Gregorian. 48 sums to 61. But on this side right here, it's 82 days till his 25th birthday. So we know 25 is an important number because it's on the Hebrew calendar. 25 sums to 50, it's the 50th day. But it also goes with the event numbers as well. 7 sums to 25. And so maybe this whole Sam Burns 107, 26, 55 goes with him 82 days till his 25th birthday. And 82 is relevant because Copperhead course, which is what they're playing on, the course they're playing on, sums to 82. 82 days till his 25th birthday. And also know that it is May 2nd, 5/2 or 2/5, 5225. So it goes on the Gregorian as well as the Hebrew down here with 25. So Sam Burns has some interesting numbers with his name. I almost feel like it's too much, the 107, 26, 55. But the 82 days till his 25th birthday is interesting, I think. But he is tied with Keegan, so he doesn't. Sam Burns, it would be his first PGA Tour win if he were to win. Let's put in 11, 47, 34. The 47 would be interesting for Innisbrook Resort. Sums to 211, the 47th prime number. Okay, that's Max Homa. Max Homa would be my second choice. He'd be my runner-up. He's at number 13 right now, minus 13. So he's in third place relatively. He has interesting numbers. His name, Max Homa, sums to 30. He's currently 30 years old. The reason why that's relevant is because the number 50 sums to 30. Today being the 50th day of the Hebrew Religious, played in Palm Harbor, which sums to 50. Defending champion was Paul Casey, and his name summed to 50. So I'm thinking that's a number to look at. And the number 50 sums to 30, and so Max Homa sums to 30, and he's currently 30 years old. It's the 165th day of his 30-year-old age. 165 sums to 103. 103 date numerology on the Hebrew Religious. Defending champ 103, Paul Casey, and Innisbrook Resort sums to 103. So I kind of like that for Max Homa. Today does have 48 date numerology on the Gregorian. 48 sums to 137, the 33rd prime number. 28 date numerology. 28 sums to 156 and 141. Just like 33 sums to 156 and 141. And Max Homa sums to 33, and he can get his third tournament win at the age of 30. So there might be a 33 number 3 pattern there. It's 201, or total span of 202 days till his next birthday. It is the 20th day of the second month on the Hebrew Religious, like 202. So he has some interesting connections, Max Homa. I kind of like Keegan Bradley just for the simple fact he opened up minus 7-0, 7th event. Seems like it's hinting towards him. But Max Homa, I like his numbers. Even with the 75 and 30 as well. 12 date numerology. 12 sums to 75 and 30. Cameron Tringale, next guy up. He has event number connection. Cameron Tringale, excuse me. His name sums to 88. This is in Palm Harbor, Florida, which sums to 88. He's 33 years old. It's about as far as I got with him. It's interesting that his name sums to 250, and it's 251, 252 days till his 33rd birthday. 250, 251, 252. And 33, we get it from the Gregorian, 28 and 48, 137, the 33rd prime. Kind of like how I talked about it with Max Homa. And name summon to 33. Could get his 3rd tournament win. But Cameron, he doesn't have any tournament wins. He can get his 1st one if he were to win. But I didn't see a whole lot for him as far as connections. Abram Answer, 239, which is the 52nd prime number. This is May 2nd, 5/2. His name also sums to 77. Not a direct connection, but it is the 7th annual Valspar event. So I'm just looking at numbers that have 7 in it, a consistency of 7. Plus, the number 7 sums to 65, and it's the 65th day of his 30-year-old age. And we talked about the number 30. The number 50 sums to 30. Today, the 50th day on the Hebrew. Palm Harbor sums to 50. Defending champ Paul Casey sums 50. It's also 301 days till his next birthday, his 31st birthday. And 301 is a reflection of 103. 103 date numerology on the Hebrew. Innisbrook Resort, 103. Defending champion Paul Casey, 103. So Abraham Answer has some pretty good numbers, the 65, the 77, the 239, and the 301. So he's a contender for sure, I think. Shrek and Neiman, same thing, contender for the 77, 77, 7th annual event. His name also sums to 221. Is Innisbrook Resort, 221. If Paul Casey is anything of a indicator for a winner, his name same to 103 with Issenbrook. The 221 could be a thing for Jaquan Neiman, 221. His name sums to 221. So maybe that would be the connection you're looking for. And he could get his 2nd tournament win, PGA tournament win, on the 2nd day of May. At the age of 22 years old. He was born on a number 7 day in November. And it's the 177th day of his 22-year-old age. Sums to 77, the 7th annual event at Issenbrook Resort, 221. And his name sums to 221. 221 is a reflection of 122, and it's the 122nd day on the Gregorian. So he has some interesting numbers too. Ted Potter Jr., same kind of numbers as these last 3 have had. We have the 52 and the 65. Ted Potter Jr. sums to 52. It's May 2nd, 5/2, like 52. It's the 7th annual event for the Valspar event. 7 sums to 65. His name sums to 65 as well. It's 191 days till his next birthday, which is the 43rd prime number. 43 date numerology on the Hebrew religious. And then we get into 43 and the connections with, 104, Valspar Championship 104, Palm Harbor 104, things like that. Another thing that's interesting about Ted Potter Jr., we talked about the 77 here and the 77 here for Abraham Answer. All 3 of these guys have a connection to 77, because when you write out 77, it sums to 175, and it's the 175th day of Ted Potter Jr.'s 37-year-old age. PGA Tour sums to 37. 37 could be relevant for the Gregorian calendar too. 12 date numerology on the Gregorian, 37 the 12th prime. So on the 175th day of his 37-year-old age. May 2nd, 5/2, and the 7th event. 7th annual event. 7 sums to 65. 77 sums to 175. Charlie Hoffman has interesting numbers. All these guys have interesting numbers. Charlie Hoffman sums to 243. It's a day leaving 243 left on the Gregorian. 239 days till his next birthday, the 52nd prime. May 2nd, 5/2, like 52. It's the 127th day of his current 44-year-old age. He was born on December 27th, which looks like an extended 127. 127th day of his age, born on 12/27, excuse me. But it is a day leaving 127 left for the Hebrew civil, so his numbers connect to the days left on the calendars. 243, 127. His name Charlie Hoffman, 243, 127th day of his age. With the 44, him being 44 years old makes me think he might stay on 40, not 40, but 4 PGA Tour wins. But of course, that 5 is in play. We talked about Keegan Bradley in the number 5, connected to 25. So that could be in play for sure. Bubba Watson could make an appearance here. His name sums to 30. We talked about the number 30. It also sums to 69. He could be the one to get that 6.9 million payday. The number 50 sums to 30 and 69. This being the 50th day on the Hebrew. Palm Harbor 50. 187 days till his 43rd birthday. We talked about the number 43. Although with the 187, he might get murdered, you know. Not get the 13. He could just sit on that 12. 12 PGA wins. Today does have a connection to 12. Gregorian. 12 date numerology. Bran Snedeker. He could be a dark horse. He has some really good numbers. He sums to 140 and 59. Paul Casey summed to 140, and that's a connection to 43, really. 43 sums to 140 and 59 today with 43 date numerology on the or not on the Gregorian, but on the Hebrew. And those are the numbers that we've been looking for in purple. And 43 is the 14th prime number. 14 sums to 104. Just like Valspar Championship 104, Palm Harbor 104. It also sums to 41 and 40. And Bran Snedeker is 40 years old, but he's coming up on his 41st birthday as well. So he's in between 40 and 41. So this all connects to the number 43. And Valspar Championship connects to that 43 and that 14. And, you know, the defending champion has that 140 in his name. Bran Snedeker has that 140 in his name. It's 220, or a total span of 221 days till his next birthday, his 41st birthday. And Valspar Championship sums to 220. And his Brook Resort sums to 221. And we know that it also sums to 103, and Paul Casey summed to 103. So, Bran Snedeker, if you're looking for a dark horse, a big odds to bet on, potentially to make a decent sized comeback, he's in ninth -9, so he's in 9th place. He's at a -8, excuse me. He's tied for 9th. So, if you want somebody to make a comeback from the ace spot all the way up here, maybe Keegan and Sam and Max, they all blow it. They drop, and these guys jump up. I would say Bran Snedeker might be a good one. His numbers seem pretty interesting. He would get his 10th win. I couldn't find a connection for 10 per se. Number 10 does equal 12. Maybe you can go with the 12. We talked about the number 12 a couple times. And then Troy Merritt, he's tied for 9th as well. His name sums to 71, the 20th prime number. We know this is the 20th overall event, 7th annual. 7 sums to 20. He can get his 3rd tournament win. We talked about the number 33. And that's about it, though, particularly for this one. And then I have these other guys that are up here. Justin Thomas, he sums to 43. That would be a dark horse. I didn't pull his birthday, but you'll have to pull his birthday. He can get his 15th, but he could stay on 14. 43, the 14th prime. We know 14 sums to 104. Valspar Championship 104. Maybe he'll just sit on that 14 and not win. 88 is one for Scotty Scheffler, Palm Harbor, Florida. Sums to 88. Hofflin. He can get his third win. Talked about the 33 number. But yeah, hopefully this helps. Hopefully you got some good information out of this. And thanks for watching.